What's up, co-reporters? Listen, this video might piss some of you off because I know that people like to be very much like this person versus that person. This person's great, so this person's horrible. This person's terrible, which means that this person can't also be terrible. But I am really inviting you guys to consider the fact that perhaps most of these people freaking suck, okay? And of course, that is in reference to Aaliyah on episode 5 of season 5 of Love is Blind. Okay, so let's get into all of the stuff that irritated me about her this episode, in addition to a full blown episode recap. So, at the very top of the episode, Uche announces to the rest of the guys that Aaliyah decided to ghost pretty much and no longer continue with the experiment or anything like that. And they all speculated on what could have happened because according to Uche, everything was all well and good. They exchanged I love yous in the pods like last time he heard from her, and then she just didn't show up. And I gotta say, he did seem to be genuinely dazed and confused. So I don't think he's acting or anything like that. And then he insists to the producers that they reach out to Aaliyah because he wants to get some kind of closure. So they call her up. And so she explains that the reason that she left was because of her discussion with Lydia, where Lydia said, well, she told Lydia that she could have Uche if Uche doesn't propose to her by the end of this experiment. And Lydia was pissed off. She was like, F you, I don't want him. And so they got into a fight pretty much. Um, she also said that she felt smothered by Lydia, constantly bringing up Uche in conversations, which is quite strange, right? Because Lydia was supposed to be falling in love with Milton. So why is she constantly wanting to talk to Aaliyah about, Lydia's ex, Uche, and who Aaliyah's falling in love with and whatnot? I would be suspicious of that too, especially after finding out that the woman had been dating and banging that man as recently as 3 months ago. Like the feelings are obviously still there. So then she starts sobbing as usual. And I'm like, girl, you are always freaking sobbing. Like you're just so emotionally volatile and heavy and overwhelming. It's just too damn much. I'm sorry. And then she tells Uche that she still loves him and wants him. And he's like, then why aren't you here if you feel that way? And she has no answer. Instead, she just tells Uche that she loves him again. And she says that it's not a normal environment and she wouldn't like walk away in a marriage, like, ghost or whatever. But you knew that it wasn't the normal environment when you went into the experiment. But you also knew that you had the possibility of saying goodbye to this man formally before just leaving like that. So I don't think that, like, it's a stressful environment is a good enough excuse personally. And Uche tells her that if she can't get through being around his ex-girlfriend here, then they'll never get to the point of marriage, because obviously, like in the real world, you're going to see even more people, right, that like he's dated this, that, and the other out in the wild. And so at this point, Aaliyah then starts talking about Lydia again. She's like, Uche, how do you know that Lydia didn't like see an email on your computer or something when she was, dating you or whatever, or like, banging you or this, that, or the other 3 months ago, um, saying that you were going to be doing this show, and that she then decided to follow you onto the show and whatnot. So she really starts like putting out the Lydia is a stalker narrative. And so Uche, one thing about him when he's talking to Aaliyah, like he's got no emotion on his face, whatever. He is like very, very blank, but you can hear it in his voice that he's angry. And it's very jarring to me, like, I don't know, I'll do an example. So people like, you can't just walk away from people in real life, in a marriage. It's not going to work like that, Aaliyah. And it's like, he's angry, but the face is giving you nothing. And it's just very, I don't know, it's very interesting to say the least. And so after Aaliyah brings up the possibility that Lydia followed Uche onto the show, he's just like, listen, it was really terrible of you to leave without even writing a letter to say goodbye. And I agree with him. Like that was super ice cold. I know he's getting a lot of criticism for being really like angry towards her and not really empathetic towards her positioning. But dude, like she freaking ghosted him when he was thinking about getting married to her, and now she's on the phone boo-hooing, talking about I want to marry you, when she just ghosted him. Like it's playing mind games. I can see why he's pissed off. She's annoying. She truly is. She's immature. She's got no hold over her like emotions. Like she's just so up and down, and it's too much. It's like a freaking merry-go-round or a roller coaster with her. Um, and so he tells her that like he feels stupid for getting close to the wrong person. And so Aaliyah goes, "Oh, if that's how you feel, then maybe we don't need to be talking anymore." And then he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I agree. We should stop talking." And then guess what? Exhausting ass, unstable ass Aaliyah says, "Oh, well, how could you say that, Uche? Like, don't make that decision right now. It's too soon to make that decision." It's like, girl, you were the one who literally just told him that maybe we don't need to be talking. And he took the, I guess you were trying to like put out bait just to test him, this, that, and the other. He took the bait. He said, "All right," he called your bluff. And now you're trying to flip it on him and act like he's being rash by agreeing to something that you freaking propose. Like she is too much. She is, I think Uche is not a good match for anyone on the show. I think Lydia is kooky as well, but I also think Aaliyah is kooky. The three of them are attracted to each other for a reason. They're all nuttier than squirrel shit, okay? So let's get into Milton and Lydia. So now they're moving into their villa. All the couples go to Mexico, and I gotta say, like Lydia said something that like really rubbed me the wrong way. It's not about her, but it's about Milton. She says that Milton told her that he's gonna teach her like English. And I don't like that. I'm like, she's already fluent. Like, she makes mistakes, yeah, but they're like very minor mistakes. Like, you know what she means. Like, so the idea that he's telling her, "Oh, I'm going to teach you English." How many languages do you speak, Milton? Because don't go there. So he says that he was nervous at the reveal, that he looked super young because he had recently shaved his face. And I'm sorry, but even with his little mustache or whatever he's got going on there and the stubble, he looks like, and even though he's tall, he looks like a kid to me. You know, when you put like a kid on top of the shoulders and then you put on that big Inspector Gadget trench coat and try to get into the movie theater with like the children's discount? That's what he looks like to me. But I guess Lydia's into it. There's a lot of physical chemistry between the two of them. They couldn't stop kissing each other on the mouth. And I guess his height helps her kind of like see him as like older or like, more I don't know, masculine or whatever, because he is 6'7" after all. And now Izzy, oh Lord, let me tell you, one day Izzy's gonna blind me with these fluorescent teeth. They're truly fluorescent. They're just very unnaturally white. And he's got a beautiful smile and everything. And he loves to smile, which I think is a great quality, but please tone down whatever the hell you're using on your teeth, sir, because it's too much. So I do also want to tell you guys, back to Milton and Lydia, I have been fast forwarding the hell out of their scenes together because they could not stop making out. It's literally like two high school kids, and it's just disgusting. I'm over the sounds and the this and the that and all this sexual innuendo. It's like, you guys act like you've never gotten laid before. Sorry, I didn't even realize that I had my mic on the ground. They act like they've never gotten laid before, and they need to kind of like calm it down, in my opinion. But I digress. Listen, it's still new energy. They're just meeting each other for the first time, like after falling in love and whatnot. So I am going to give them a little bit of grace there. So now let's get into everybody's favorite couple, and I hope you can sense the sarcasm in my voice there, but. Taylor and JP are having a really difficult time connecting since meeting up, and she just keeps on telling him that meeting in person is awkward. Like, so, like it was overkill. Like, we get it, girl. You find it awkward, but oh, please. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, I am certain that she doesn't want to marry this boring ass flag obsessed man, and he just keeps on staring at her. He's got literally no personality, no jokes, no opinions, nothing. She'll be talking to him, and he'll just be like this. "Oh, how do you think about the weather today?" "That's nice." Like, "Oh, how do you feel today?" "Good." He doesn't even like expound on things, to make a conversation interesting. He won't be like, "Oh, like I feel great. I woke up with a little cramp in my neck because I slept funny." And then she could like bring, and then the conversation keeps going. He'll just be like, "I woke up great." Like, he's just really, really freaking dull. So I understand why Taylor feels like meeting in person is awkward. And she keeps telling him because she's got nothing to talk to him about. And so a normal person would be like, "Oh my God, like, what do you mean? Like, what's like, what can we do here? Like, what are you feeling awkward about?" Myself, I've been feeling awkward about X, Y, and Z, but like, I want to reassure you that like, I like you, I love you, or something like that. But he's like, "Awkward, eh? Why could that be?" he's just it's a lot. I would be scared to sleep next to this man who just stares at you and doesn't say a single damn word. So now, Stacy and Izzy, they wake up in bed, and her first order of business is to let us know that Izzy is packing. Okay, and I'm like, all right, girl, go ahead and advertise that to the trifling biddies that are going to be in his freaking DMs, thanks to you, letting them know that he's got that heat. But it's, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to say that joke about, no, I'm not going to say that joke. So she also lets us know that she clogged the toilet on their first night. I'm like, oh Lord, that room must have stank the next morning because it was all night that her crap was sitting in the toilet, which is absolutely disgusting. I don't know why they didn't call the service from the hotel to like fix it up like immediately. I would not be sleeping with poop in the toilet. Sorry. And I gotta say, and I know this becomes a sensitive topic in the next episode, but I really want to say this for Taylor. She is so beautiful without makeup. I just, she wakes up the next morning, she has no makeup on, and I'm like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Like, because I remember like we were seeing her in the pods, this and the other, and I don't remember thinking anything about her one way or the other. But like now that I saw her without makeup, I'm like, wow, like she's so pretty. So that was definitely something that stuck out to me. And I wrote down my notes for this before it was even brought up in the following episode. So she again brings up the fact that JP doesn't talk. And, apparently when she brought this up to him off camera, he tells her, you can do all the talking. And she's like, well, that's not going to work. In a relationship, two people need to talk, communicate, like bounce off each other and stuff. But he wants to stare at her, and it's so weird. And I'm like, she keeps on trying to like push conversations with him and ask him questions. And I'm like, girl, no, you need to make him as uncomfortable as he's making you. If he starts staring at you like this, you got to start staring at him like this. This is going to lead to more of this. We're both going to be uncomfortable. Like, what the hell, stop trying, please. And so at this point, she's talking to Stacy, I think it is, about, how she feels like she made the wrong decision, and she's like really crying. And I'm like, okay, well, no wonder she's overcompensating with all that kissing. She keeps kissing that man. I'm like, girl, what you kissing him for? You know, you don't like him. And the way he kisses, it looks painful. It's like being pecked by a bird. He goes, and I do have to say that the pacing of the show feels off. It feels empty because we've only got 3 couples as well, and I do want to point out something as well. So Stacy, she was talking about like all the guys and whatnot because they're all together now at the villa, and she called flag loving JP a good old boy. And I was like, that is very telling, Stacy, because remember, Stacy, just like everybody else, has dated JP. They all dated each other in the pods. So maybe he told her some things about himself that scream good old boy, proud boy, that type of a vibe, that we were already getting from him and his flag obsession. That really stuck out to me. And I'm like, all right, thank you, Stacy, for confirming what I already thought. So now let's get to Izzy. This guy, I'm sorry, but he's such a prick. He truly, truly is. He pulls Lydia to the side to clear the air about like their breakup. And he's like, oh, I still think you're like wonderful and stuff. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but like, it's not that we didn't have a connection. I had a stronger connection with, and he just kept going on and on and on and on. This man loves the sound of his own voice. And he so badly wants to think that Lydia, with her master's degree and her wonderful, successful career, are crying herself to sleep over him and his bad credit. Like, stop it. Get over yourself, Izzy. We didn't need this conversation, okay? And so now then the guys start talking about whether or not they are getting laid. And at this point, JP is talking to Milton, I think it is, and he's like, he said that he didn't have intimacy with Taylor the other night, and he seems surprised. And I'm like, how delusional can you be? Like, do you really think that sitting there like this with no freaking personality, like no conversation, is gonna make her want to bang you? Like, what do you like? What? Like, I could just picture him in the bed, like, so are we gonna do this? Like, he just stares at her the whole time, and it's so uncomfortable. Of course, she doesn't want to sleep with you. What have you done, JP, to make her be attracted to you? Like, you've done literally nothing in that department, okay? So Anyway, Taylor, she's talking to Stacy and she's like, I just don't even feel comfortable around him, which is so normal because, again, all he does stare. So obviously you feel weird every time you turn around. Imagine you're just like, shaving your armpits and you turn around and someone's just staring at you, and they don't say anything. And so she's like, oh, like, I feel like I made the mistake of saying yes. I liked him so much better in the pods. And then later she talks to JP himself and she's like, listen, I feel bad because all of these other couples, they seem to be like connecting so well. And I just don't see that with us. And like, obviously she's devastated because she seems serious. She really wanted to get married and find her soulmate and stuff, but she got stuck with a man who does nothing but stare at her. And so then at this point, they're like by the water as they're having this conversation, standing up. And she's like, he didn't say anything in response to that. He didn't say, oh, I want to step it up. I want to do this. He goes like this. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on us. And so she's looking at him like, And then like, there's like these like birds on the rock and stuff. And so she's like, wow, look at the birds. Like, and like, again, another opening for him to like bring up conversation and be, say something. He's like, he didn't say anything. I was like, all right, girl, pack it up. This is too much. One day of this is already too much. It sounds like absolute torture. You are strong. You are a stronger girl than me. 3 hours and I'm good. All right, pack it up. Where's my bag? Where's my flight ticket? I'm not dealing with this. Okay. Anyway, guys, that does it. That's a recap of what went down on the 5th episode of the 5th season of Love is Blind. And as usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.